Hey, hey guys, Wind Tiger here. Sorry, it took me a while. I had to do this bake off thing for my work, but as I promised, today is Monday, unfortunately. But I also said I was gonna do it on Monday sometimes if work was too busy on Sunday and shit like that. Hope you guys are good. Unfortunately, I won't be able to share this on my Facebook, so my friend is going to share it on Facebook, so look out for her post. I will share this on Instagram, and shout out to Audio Games, so I will send it to them by email. Facebook is being really, really stupid, so they unfortunately restricted my account for a couple days because they honestly let people do whatever the hell they want on Facebook. They let scammers comment on your posts, do all kinds of stupid shit. It's really frustrating. But, that's enough about dumbass Facebook. I'm going to be doing the same thing, talking really close to the mic on my phone so you can hear me, hopefully. Today we're going to be playing the Inquisitor, the first chapter. Um, a little bit about the Inquisitor before we start. There's a button that you can speed up puzzles and shit like that. It's a 5-finger tap hold. I will show you once we start the game. It will be a long video. I don't know how long, but each chapter is pretty long. So I will speak when I have to and shit like that. And without further ado, let's start this fun game. But before we do, like I said, I'm gonna put a link to in the description for the game. Please go to Audio Games and show them some support. These guys are wonderful, honest people, and I really recommend you buying their product. They're really helpful. If you need help or support, you can contact these people, and they're the best. Like, they're really, really awesome. Please, guys, show them some love so they can create more content for the blind. And without further ado, here we go, guys.
Selected. Screen recording. Button. Eat Street. Blindfold Alter Uber. Truth Fear. Zombie. Blindfold Ballerina. The Inquisitor. Blindfold Seer Secret. The Inquisitor 2 Audio. Air 01 under. The Inquisitor Secret. Blindfold Snakes. The Inquisitor. Double tap to open. Landscape.
Remember
Home
to
button to the right. The Inquisitor.
disable the
Direct touch area.
voiceover.
Voiceover off.
Welcome to the audio game mode. Press with one finger to scroll through the options. Press with 2 fingers to select one. Start a new game. You are about to start a new game. Press with 2 fingers to confirm. Press with 3 fingers to cancel. Welcome to the audio game mode. Press start a new game.
Sorry, I didn't look at the menu.
Resume the game. Load game. Select language. Start a new game. Resume. Load. Select language.
So this lets you choose different languages.
Select language. Press with one finger to scroll through the available languages. Latin, English, Italian, Latin, English. You have selected English. Press with 2 fingers to confirm. Welcome to the audio game mode. Start a new game.
And that's it for that. So we're starting a game.
You are about to start a new game. Press with 2 fingers to confirm. Press loading. The year of our Lord 1364. I have been called to Carcassonne by the head of the Holy Inquisition, Father Vinet. I received his letter in Avignon. He asked me to come urgently, but did not explain why. I left my few belongings in one of the cells reserved for the brothers. I am in the main corridor. Press with one finger to select the scene elements. Having selected an object, press with two fingers to access the available actions. Press with one finger to scroll through the actions available for the selected element. Press with two fingers to select one. With three fingers to cancel. Hold down with one finger to listen to the description of the setting.
Drag your finger from the top edge downwards.
To open the inventory.
Drag your finger from the bottom edge upwards.
To open the map.
Drag your finger from the right edge towards the left.
To open my notes.
Drag your finger from the left edge towards the right.
To listen to the objectives. Press with 5 fingers or make the sign of the cross to call for divine help. Press with 3 fingers to exit the game. Press with 4 fingers to listen to the guide.
Okay, so that's the 5-finger thing I was talking about. The sign of the cross is also 2 fingers on the right, 2 fingers on the left. And yeah, so that's what you do. It's pretty simple, honestly. And I really don't like to do the puzzles, so that's what I like to do because you have to mix the items together, and it's just a pain to keep swiping down with the inside the inventory. I'll show you guys later.
Guard. Balcony. East Wing Corridor. Lion's Head Statue. Abbot Vinay's Study. Guard. Balcony. East Wing Corridor. Lion's Head Statue. I go towards Lion's Head Statue. I go towards Lion's Head Statue. It seems that something is missing. The statue has a number of slots as big as a stone. I am in the main corridor.
Sometimes it freezes like that. You gotta be careful.
Abbot Vinay's Study. Examine. Abbot Vinay. Examine. Abbot Vinay's Study. Father Vinay's Study. Lion's Head Statue. Abbot Vinay. Guard. Balcony. East Wing. Lion's Head. Abbot Vinay's Study. Guard. Balcony. I go toward. It's not time to leave yet.
Yeah, he will let you do some stuff.
Guard. Balcony. East Wing Corridor. It's not time to leave yet.
Yeah, certain stuff he won't let you do.
East Wing. Lion. Abbot Vin. Guard. I talk to. Guard. Examine. Examine. Guard.
It's really good to examine a lot of stuff in this game. It's mostly puzzles and shit like that. So it's really good to look at it.
A thick-set guard with many scars. He looks very much like a vulgar mercenary. On his arm, he wears a pendant with a strange symbol. Abbot Vinay. Guard. Balcony. East. Lion's Head. Abbot Vinay's. Guard. I talk to. Guard. My name is Nicholas Emmerich. Abbot Vinay is expecting me.
Father Vinay. Father Nicholas Emmerich is here. You may enter, Father Emmerich.
Abbot Vinay's guard. Balcony. East wing corridor. I go to... It's not time to leave yet! Balcony. East wing corridor. Abbot guard. Balcony. I go to... It's not time to leave yet! Guard. Examine. Examine. Guard. A thick-set guard with many scars. He looks very much like...
Oh yeah, if you strike, you can skip.
Abbot Vinay's study. I go towards... Abbot Vinay's study. Large oval room with windows on the right. Bookcase full of ancient books on the left. And in the center, the abbot's desk with an hourglass on it. Behind the desk, against the wall, a preciously crafted crucifix. To the right of the window and against the wall, a statue of the Virgin Mary. On the other side of the window, a solid wooden table, with a candlestick, silver plate, and closed casket on the top. Opposite the desk, the door exits onto the corridor. Father Vinay. Main corridor. Hourglass. Examine. I take. Hourglass. I don't need an hourglass to tell me I'm wasting my time. Father Vinay. Main corridor. Hourglass. Examine. I take. Examine. An hourglass. Hourglass. Casket. Examine. Casket. A closed casket. Casket. Examine. I open. Casket. It is locked, but it does not interest me. Casket. Examine. I examine. Casket. Casket. Desk. Examine. Desk. Examine. Desk. A well-polished desk. Father Vinay takes appearances very seriously. Desk. Crucifix. Examine. Crucifix. A preciously crafted crucifix. Crucifix. Examine. I take. Crucifix. Examine. I take. Crucifix. I have no need of such things. The Lord is with me always. Crucifix. Statue of Mary. Examine. Statue of Mary. A statue of Mary. May the Virgin assist me in my work. Statue of Mary. Examine. 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 Statue of Mary. Statue of Mary. Father Vinay. Main hourglass. Cask. Desk. Crucifix. Statue of Mary. Father Vinay. I talk to Father Vinay. Examine. Father. I talk to. Examine. Father Vinay. Father Jean Vinay, Prior of Carcassonne. A man with a devious eye and an able tongue. Better not to get tangled in his words. Main corridor. Father Vinay. I talk to Father Vinay.
So, you are Nicholas Amory. It is a pleasure to meet you in person, even if your fame as an inquisitor precedes you.
You're surely aware that I've not been Inquisitor General of Aragon for some years.
Of course. I well know that you have resided in Avignon for some time. Indeed, it was Pope Urban who holds you in the highest esteem, who sent me the first chapters of your Directorium Inquisitorum. A truly comprehensive and learned work.
Forgive me, Father Abbot, but I know well the contents of my work. I would rather know the reason for my being summoned here.
You are no doubt a worthy inquisitor, but you are also very impatient. However, you are right. Let us move on to more serious matters. Have you heard of Calcares?
Yes, I believe it is an abbey a few days' journey from here. But I have never been there.
Well, that is where you must go. The abbey belongs to the Cistercians, but they have not been able to spread the faith among the people. Indeed, as far as I know, the wretched village of Calcares is lacking a spiritual guide, and it would appear that even its priest has abandoned the church. As the area was not immune to Catharian heresy, I sent a brother of some experience there. His task was to investigate and to bring true faith among the local people.
Then what? I don't think he should have much difficulty. Such heresy died with the Crusades of Innocent III, and I personally took care to crush any final outbursts of that scourge.
And yet we have heard nothing from this brother. Your task is to trace him. And...
I beg your pardon, Father Vinay. But is it possible that here in Carcassonne you do not have an inquisitor able to investigate a case like this? Was it really necessary to have me come from Avignon?
Your perplexity is justifiable, but I asked specifically for you to come, as you know the inquisitor I sent to Calcares. It is Father Jacinto Corona from Valladolid.
Father Corona is certainly the most suitable person to entrust with the task, and I'm sure that you will soon have his news.
Really, Father Emmerich, the matter of this village must be resolved as soon as possible. I hope that I can count on you leaving immediately.
If you are so convinced that there are Cathari hiding in Calcares, then I believe you should provide me with all the tools I require to fight the heresy. You must appoint me Inquisitor General, and invest me with full and unlimited powers of Inquisition throughout the region.
Your insolence surprises me. You know very well that such powers are a prerogative attributed directly to me by the Holy Father. You shall go as my emissary, investigate, and if, as I believe it is necessary, we shall establish a tribunal in Calcaris.
So, if I understand correctly, you fear that Father Corona is in danger, in the hands of menacing heretics, and that the village is revolting against the supreme power of the Church, scornful of the Holy Inquisition. So tell me, how long has Father Jacinto been in Calcaris?
Since early September.
No more than a month. And since then you have heard nothing from the village. Do you not think that strange? These heretics will do anything to draw our attention. The guard I saw outside appears to be a vulgar mercenary. Is that how the Inquisition protects itself?
Father Emmerich, I appreciate your concern. However, you have nothing to fear. He is the bastard son of the impoverished counts of Toulouse. His presence guarantees the loyalty of that which less than a century ago was a powerful dynasty. I am tired of arguing with you, Father Emmerich. I have already asked you to leave. Now is the time.
Main corridor. Father Vinay. Examine. Examine. Father Jean Vinay, Prior of Carcassonne. A man with a devious eye. Statue. Father Vinay. Main hourglass. Casket. Examine. Eye open. Casket. It is locked, but it does not... Casket. Desk. Crucifix. Desk. Examine. A well-polished desk. Desk. Crucifix. Statue of Desk. Examine. Examine. Cask. Desk. Crucifix. Statue of Father Vinay. Main corridor. I go towards main corridor.
Guys.
I am in the main corridor. Guard. Examine. Examine. Guard. A thick-set guard. Balcony. East wing. Lion's Head. Abbot Vinay. Guard. Balcony. East wing corridor. I go towards East wing corridor. The wing of the abbey used as a store, with barrels and wineskins leading towards the dark corridor. A small flight of stairs leading to the kitchen, and the exit out into the courtyard. Courtyard. Engraved map. Red gem. I take red gem. Examine red gem. A strange stone. Red gem. I take red gem. A strange stone. Orange gem. I take orange gem. Examine orange gem. A strange stone. Orange gem. I take orange gem. A strange stone. Colored gem. I take. Examine. Colored gem. A strange stone. Colored gem. I take. Colored gem. A strange stone. Blue gem. I take. Blue gem. Examine. Blue gem. A strange stone. Blue gem. I take. Blue gem. A strange stone. Shaded gem. I take. Examine. Shaded gem. A strange stone. Shaded gem. I take. Shaded gem. A strange stone. Yellow gem. I take. Examine. Yellow gem. A strange stone. Yellow gem. I take. Yellow gem. A strange stone.
See how it fills up your inventory really quickly?
Main corridor. Larder. Courtyard. Engraved map. I go towards. Engraved map. I go towards. Engraved map. A bas-relief with a map of this wing of the Abbey. It will help me to find my way quicker. I will copy it into my notes. I am in the East Wing corridor. I must find a stable and get myself a horse to ride to Calcaris. Engraved map. Main corridor. Larder. I go towards larder.
A pantry. In the center, a table with scales and other objects. To the left of the table, a dressing table with doors and crockery. Next to this, the fire, unlit. Behind the table, an oval stone sink, a cloth hanging beside it. Next to this, the stairs leading up to the corridor. To the right of the table, some containers and a stand holding a book. On the wall next to this, a niche closed by a wooden hatch used to throw rubbish outside. Opposite the tables, a sideboard with food, plates, and bottles.
Saucepan. I take. Saucepan. Examine. I take. Examine. Saucepan.
I do not mean to play the alchemist.
Saucepan. I take. Saucepan. Saucepan. Bottle. Cauldron. East Wing corridor. Drawer. Trapdoor. Wine. Cloth. Sideboard. Scales. Bread. Strange piece of metal. I take. Strange piece of metal. Examine. Strange piece of metal. A strange metal object. It looks like a handle.
Oh yeah, you have to move certain things to grab other stuff. That piece of metal was under the saucepan.
Strange piece. I take. Strange piece of metal. Walnut. Pocket knife. I take pocket. Examine pocket knife. A small kitchen knife. Pocket knife. I take pocket knife. The kitchen knife. Carafe. Saucepan. Bottle. I take bottle. Examine bottle.
I do not mean to play the alchemist.
Bottle. I take bottle. Bottle. Cauldron. East wing. Drawer. Trap door. Wine. Cloth. Sideboard. Scales. Bread. Walnut. Carafe. Saucepan. Bottle.
Other stuff don't give you anything.
Cauldron. I take cauldron. Examine cauldron.
I do not mean to play the alchemist.
East wing cauldron. I take cauldron. Cauldron. East wing drawer. Trap. Wine. Cloth. Sideboard. Scales. Bread. Walnut. Carafe. Saucepan. Bottle. Cauldron. Examine. 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 Cauldron. East wing drawer. Examine. Examine. Drawer. A closed drawer. Its contents are of no interest to me. Drawer. Trap door. Wine. I take wine. I open wine.
I do not intend to fog my mind and tire out my body.
Wine. I take wine. I open. Examine. I examine wine.
A bottle of wine. Sometimes it is more effective than any torture for getting the answers you need.
Wine. I take wine. A wineskin filled to the brim with mediocre wine. Cloth. I take. Examine. Cloth.
A towel to dry off with. Stinking and dirty. It may be useful.
Cloth. I take cloth. A cloth, filthy with dust and mouse droppings. Sideboard. Examine. I move. Examine. Sideboard.
An ordinary sideboard with crockery, glasses, and other kitchen utensils, and some doors.
Sideboard. Examine. I examine. I move. Sideboard.
I am not the cook or the maid, and I am not here to cook.
Sideboard. Scales. Examine. Scales.
Scales for weighing the ingredients.
Scales. Examine. 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 Scale. Scales. Bread. Examine. I take. Examine. Bread.
A rotten loaf. Food for ants and roaches.
Bread. Examine. I take. Bread.
Now I am not hungry.
Bread. Walnut. Examine. Walnut. A rather large walnut. Walnut. Examine. I take. Walnut. No. Walnuts are ambiguous, woody fruits suited to rodents, not to men. And certainly not to me. Walnut. Carafe. I take. Examine. Carafe.
I do not mean to play the alchemist.
Carafe. I take. Carafe. Saucepan. Bottle. Cauldron. East wing. Drawer. Trap. Sideboard. Scales. Bread. Walnut. Hexagonal piece of metal. Carafe. Walnut. Carafe. Salt. Bottle. East. Drawer. Trap. Sideboard. Scales. Bread. Walnut. Carafe. Examine. Carafe.
I do not mean to...
Saucepan. Carafe. Examine. I take. Carafe. Hexagonal piece of... I take. Examine. Hexagonal... A piece of metal with a hexagonal section. Hexagonal piece of metal. Walnut. Carafe. Examine. I take. Carafe. Hexagonal piece. I take. Hexagonal piece of metal. Carafe. Saucepan. Bottle. Cauldron. Examine. 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 Cauldron. East wing. Drawer. Trap. Drawer. Examine. 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 Drawer. Trap door. Examine. 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 Trap door.
A closed hatch.
Trapdoor. Sideboard. Scales. Bread. Walnut. Carafe. Sauce. Bottle. Cauldron. East wing corridor. I go towards East wing corridor. I am in the East wing corridor. Main larder. Courtyard. Engraved map. Larder. Courtyard. I go towards courtyard. The service courtyard of this wing of the abbey. Very poorly tended. A monumental staircase leads to the upper balcony. In the middle of the courtyard, a headless statue. At the back, 2 storage huts. Between them, a passage leads to the kitchen and storerooms. Between the huts and the wall, an alleyway filled with weeds and more besides. Beyond, the outer wall. The wall has collapsed in one point. An archway leads out of the courtyard to the outside of the abbey. The sky is covered with thick clouds. Behind the staircase, a patch of earth, the entrance to the stable, and the head of the Inquisition Tower. Squirrel. Examine. Squirrel. A squirrel. Pretty. Squirrel. Balcony. East wing stable. Towards Calcares. Strange leaves. Examine. Strange leaves. A plant, or rather a weed, with very strange leaves. Strange leaves. Strange mushroom. Examine. I take. Examine. Strange mushroom. It's a very strange mushroom. Certainly useless for cooking. Map. Abbot Vinay. Abandoned area. Abbot Vinay's study. Beam. Wooden gate. Passing monk. Head of the statue. Monk. Stick. Twig. Short stick. Long stick. Heavy stone. Strange leaves. Strange mushroom. Examine. I take. Examine. I take. Strange mushroom. Here many brothers are devoted to the art of mushroom picking. I am not one of them. Strange mushroom. Heavy stone. I take. Examine. I take. Examine. Heavy stone. A stone carved by the fountain, but no longer stuck to it. Heavy stone. I take. Heavy stone. This place is tormented enough to wreak more damage. Heavy, long stick. I take. Examine. Long stick. A stick. Long stick. I take. Long stick. A stick? Of no use to me. I'm not that old, damn you! Long stick. Short stick. I take. Examine. Short stick. A stick. Short stick. I take. Short stick. A stick? Of no use to me. I'm not that old, damn you! Short twig. I take. Examine. Twig. A stick. Twig. I take. Twig. A stick? Of no use to me. I'm not that old, damn you! Twig. Stick. I take. Examine. Stick. A stick. Stick. I take. Stick. A stick? Of no use to me. I'm not that old, damn you! Stick. Monk. Examine. Monk.
Oh, no, no!
The hell is that?
Monk. Examine. I talk to. Examine. I talk to. Monk.
Oh, no, no!
Monk. Head of the statue. Examine. 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 Head of the statue. It fallen off the statue. Head of the passing monk. Examine. Passing monk.
I don't have time, brother.
Passing monk. Examine. I talked. Examine. I talk to. Passing monk.
We will talk after Complin, brother.
Passing monk. Wooden gate. Examine. Wooden gate. A small wooden gate in a terrible state. Beam. Examine, 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 examine. Beam. A protruding wooden beam slid under the roof of the hut. Passing monk. Wooden gate. Examine, 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 examine. Wooden beam. Squirrel. Balcony. East wing stable. Towards Calcaris. Strange leaves. Towards Calcaris. I go to.
It's not time to leave yet.
East wing corridor. Map. East wing store. Courtyard. I go towards courtyard. Balcony. East wing stable. Towards strange mushroom. Map. Abbot Vinay's abandoned area. Courtyard. I go towards courtyard. Balcony. East wing corridor.
Inside a stable.
Saddle. I take saddle.
This damn saddle has a broken strap.
Oops. I did not mean to do that. Sorry, guys.
Horse. Stable hand. Horse. Examine. 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 Horse. This horse will do me. I will take it to Calcaris. I need a saddle. Rope. I take. Examine. Rope.
A strong rope.
Rope. I take. Rope.
It may come in useful.
Horse. Stable. Balcony. Courtyard. Horse. Stable. Balcony. Courtyard. Horse. Stable hand. Examine. Examine. I absolve. I talk to. Examine. Stable hand.
A man with a humble appearance and a rather dirty robe. It must be the stableman.
Stable hand. Examine. Examine. I absolve. Stable hand.
I do not hand out absolution at random.
Stable hand. Examine. Examine. I talk to. Stable hand.
My saddle is broken. Find me another one immediately. I must be on my way to Calcaris.
Calcaris? I wouldn't be so hasty to meet with the devil.
Stable hand. I talk to. Stable hand. Stable hand.
Devil, tell me what you have heard.
Some time ago, a tradesman passing through told me that the village of Calcaris is cursed. A demon infests the woods. It is a woman, with flames in her hair, drawn by 4 beasts.
How long has this story been going around here?
Since the early summer, Father.
So Father Corona was sent after the demoniacal presence was heard of.
What did you say, Father?
Nothing, my good man. Nothing your simple mind need worry about. How long will it take me to reach Calcaris?
At least 3 days. You will have to change your mount along the way.
That would be a waste of time. It is not necessary. This nag will take me to my destination.
But it will surely die from the fatigue.
Amen. And tell me, does Abbot Vinay know of these rumors?
Of course. Everyone here in Carcassonne knows.
The stable hand goes off towards the outer courtyard. Balcony. Courtyard. Horse. Stable hand. Balcony. Balcony. Courtyard. Horse. Balcony. Courtyard. Horse. Balcony. Horse. Balcony. Horse. Map. Larder. East wing corridor. Store. Courtyard. Abandoned area. Abbot Vinay's study. Stable. Main corridor. Larder. East wing corridor. Store. Court. I go towards court. Balcony. Horse. Balcony. I go towards balcony.
Wide corridor with portico. On the left, balustrade with view over the town of Carcassonne. To the right, a narrow staircase leads down to the stables. Next to it, against the wall, a tapestry. At the back, access to another corridor.
Tapestry. Examine. I take. Examine. I take. Examine. Tapestry.
A tapestry, woven with strong thread.
Passing monk. Worried servant. Shocked servant. Main corridor. Courtyard. Corridor. Stable. Tapestry. Examine. I take. Tapestry.
Now the tapestry is in the right place.
Passing monk. Examine. I talk to. Examine. Passing monk. I have urgent matters to attend to, Father. Worried servant. Shocked. Main courtyard. Corridor. Stable. Tapestry. Bald monk. Passing monk. Examine. I talk to. Passing monk. We should not. Worried servant. Bald monk. I talk to. Examine. Bald monk.
I do not intend to waste my precious time.
Worried servant. Bald monk. I talk to. Bald monk.
Bernardo Gui is far more competent than you.
Worried servant. I talk to. Examine. Worried servant.
A servant, strongly built with a shocked expression. He's shivering with cold, or perhaps with terror.
Shocked sir. Main corridor. Courtyard. Corridor. Stable. Tapestry. Passing. Worried servant. Shocked. Worried servant. I talk to. Worried
What
servant.
are you lazing around here for? Don't you have work to do? What are you looking at? Are you perhaps dumb? Speak!
Worried servant. Examine. I talk to. Examine. I talk to. Worried servant.
Forgive him. He is not dumb, but has just seen a terrible vision. He saw the devil in the sky. He fears that he has been damned for his sins.
What devil? Make him talk, before I am the one to punish him for the sins he evidently feels guilty of. Come now, tell me. Confess what you saw, and let me be the one to judge.
Forgive me, Magister, for what I have seen in the sky has terrified me. A demoniacal vision.
Worried servant. Examine. I talk to. Worried servant.
From over there.
Yes, Magister.
Tell me, isn't that where the village of Calcaris lies?
Yes, Magister. It is indeed in that direction.
What were you doing when you saw her?
I was cleaning. As you know, there are few bathrooms here, and everyone does their business in the corridors.
Breathe deeply.
But, Magister...
Do as I say! Let me smell your breath. You have not been drinking. You are sober. So you really did see her, I imagine. A vision in the sky. Come, tell me all that you saw.
A woman, huge, made of clouds and light. She rose up into the sky from down there.
Try to be more precise. What was this woman like? Describe her.
Beautiful. A proud gaze and splendid breasts and shapely legs.
I don't want to know how she awakened your shameful instincts. Mind well. Describe the details to me.
She had a quiver and a bow over her shoulder, and the moon shone brightly from her forehead. The pagan goddess Diana.
Silence! And forget the name that you have just spoken. Very well. I understand. Do not mention this vision to anyone. And do not fear for your souls, because I absolve you of your sins.
God bless you, Magister.
Now, out of my sight. Leave me alone. I must pray.
What the servant said. Is it true? Or merely the imagination of a fool? Towards Calcaris. That is the direction I must look in. And see how and if Satan decides to show himself. Perhaps I will have a vision of the goddess Diana. Or perhaps the certainty of the overactive imagination of a servant. Tapestry, stable, corridor, courtyard, main corridor, passing monk, tapestry, stable, corridor, courtyard. I go towards courtyard. I am in the courtyard. Balcony, east wing, stable, towards strange leaves, strange heavy stone, long stick, short twig, stick, monk, head of the statue, vision in the sky. Examine, 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 vision in the sky, down there, in the midst of the clouds towards Calcaris. There is something, a fetid energy that generates demoniacal visions in those that look into it. But I can't see it. I can only feel it. It probably acts more effectively on simple minds. I need a catalyst, which allows my thoughts to open up to such evil prodigies. How can I? I remember a brother, whose name I shall not reveal, who composed a kind of talisman. He used it, or so he said, to evoke the spirits from the afterlife. Now I remember. I copied the shapes and pieces of the talisman into my notes before we punished the heresy of our brother at the stake. I must find them in my notes. Vision in the sky. Examine. Vision in the sky. Down there. But I can't see it. How can I remember? I must. Vision. Passing wooden gate. Beam. Squirrel. Balcony. I go towards balcony. I am in the balcony. Courtier. Main. Bald monk. Passing monk. Tapestry. Stable. Corridor. I go towards corridor.
Long corridor with a curtain at the end, which leads to another corridor. Halfway along the corridor, on the left, access to the porticoed corridor. At the beginning and end of the corridor, on each side, are the doors to 2 cells.
Library. I go to examine. I go examine. Library.
It is the librarian's cell.
Library. I go towards library.
The librarian's cell. Havoc reigns. In the center, the desk, with a rag to blot the ink, a quill in its ink pot, and various pots of colored ink. On the ground, next to the table, a number of dirty, used rags. Next to the desk, a table with piles of books, a knife, and on the ground, a locked chest. On the walls, shelves full of books. In the corner at the rear, a ladder. On the left, the exit out onto the corridor.
Antiphonary. Examine, examine, examine. Antiphonary.
It is an ordinary antiphonary, but what are these strange codes on the sides?
Antiphonary. Copy of the antiphonary. Examine, examine, examine. Copy of the
It is a copy of the antiphony.
Copy of the bottle of ink. Examine. Bottle of ink.
The pots of ink the librarian uses.
Bottle of ink. Examine. I take. Examine. I take.
I don't know what I could use them for.
Bottle of ink. Strong box. Examine. I open. Examine. Strong box.
A locked chest.
Strong box. Examine. I open. Strong box.
It will not open.
Strong box. Corridor. Librarian. Antiphonary. Copy. Bottle. Strong box. Corridor. Librarian. Examine. 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 Librarian.
The librarian. His eyes betray a certain fervor. Clearly he is hiding something from me.
Librarian. Examine. 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 Antiphon. Copy. Bottle. Strong. Corridor. I go. Corridor. I am in the corridor. Balcony. My cell. Library. Dark corridors and stairs. I go towards. I do not intend to waste time exploring the dark corners of Carcassonne. Dark corridors, balcony. My cell. I go to examine my cell.
It is the door to my cell.
My cell. I go towards my cell.
A rectangular cell. Against the back wall to the right, a wooden bench with a bed, a Bible laying on it. Opposite, a wooden table with some empty plates and 2 stools. On the left, a door leading to the corridor. Opposite the door, a window.
Corridor. Window. I go towards. Examine. Window.
A window with very thick, shiny glass. It reflects almost as much as a mirror.
Window. I go towards.
I do not intend to do anything with that spider running around free.
Window. Book. Bed. Crucifix. Disgusting spider. I trample on. Disgusting spider. Examine. Disgusting spider.
A stinking spider! I hate these crawling beings. They disgust me.
Disgusting spider. I trample on. Disgusting spider.
The end you deserve, horrid creature.
Corridor. Window. Examine. I go towards. Window.
The window pane is so polished, it is almost a mirror.
Window. Book. Bed. The bed in my cell, of little interest. Crucifix. Bed. The bed in my... Crucifix.
Now it is not the time to pray.
Corridor. Window. Book. Bed. Crucifix. Corridor. Window. Book. I go to examine. Examine. Book.
The book with my notes on the different forms Satan takes. Here I can find out what demon the stableman was talking of.
Book. I go towards. Book.
I could consult my notes, in which I recorded all the satanic apparitions I have come across. Done! I have managed to separate the pages and found what I was looking for.
The devil appearing as a woman, drawn by 4 wild beasts and with flaming hair. It is Demeter, the fury of She, who, in search of her lost daughter, enters the kingdom of the dead. I read of her many years ago, in a book that was as ancient as it was repugnant. Yes, now I remember. Homer described the infernal charioteer Demeter in the Eleusinian Mysteries, a forbidden book, which has not been seen since time immemorial. But here at Carcassonne, in the library, there is bound to be a copy. I must find Homer's book, and I will expose the abbot's sham.
I must go back to Abbot Vinay, even though my notes will not constitute proof. But I want to find out what he really knows of the dark mystery I have been sent to solve. Book. Bed. Crucifix. Corridor. Window. Corridor. I am in the corridor. My cell. Library. I go toward examine. I go towards library. I am in the library. Antiphonary. Copy. Bottle. Strongbox. Corridor. Librarian. Antiphonary.
It is an ordinary antiphonary, but what are these strange
Copy of the Bottle of... Copy of the antiphonary.
It is a copy of the antiphony.
Bottle of... Strongbox. Corridor. Librarian. I talk to... Examine. I talk to... Librarian.
Good day, brother. Are you in charge of the library?
As far as I am able. And you are?
Father Nicholas Emmerich of Girona, here at the will of our abbot.
May I help you?
You may indeed. I seek a codex, written in Greek. It goes by the title of the Homeric Hymns.
The Homeric hymns? You should know that there is no place for forbidden books in our libraries.
It is surely wise of you to conserve only authorized texts. However, it seems to me that your library is rather modest to satisfy the needs of all our brothers.
Look around you. You will see that our library is not as poor as it may appear. However, the Great Plague of 1348 was merciless also on our community. Many of our brothers who so fervently pored over the sacred texts have since joined the Lord, and today, alas, increasingly few of them dedicate themselves to their studies with the required diligence.
And so, what do you do here? There seems to be little need for a librarian.
What would seem to you evidently does not match what the Father Prior believes. Not all truths are for all ears, and not all lies can be recognized as such to everyone. I alone, knowing which truths or lies the books hold within, have the authority to decide how, when, and whether to entrust them to those who ask, and maybe the importance of what I was doing when you arrived escaped you.
And what would that be?
I was copying the manuscripts we keep here. There are few of us left here in Carcassonne who are able to write, and the survival and spreading of knowledge and faith is in our hands.
If the library is as well stocked as you say, may I ask if you possess Bernard Guy's Practica Inquisitionis Heretice Brevitatis?
The Practica Inquisitionis.
Of course. Maybe you are not familiar with it. It would seem rather odd. It is one of the most famous treatises on the prerogatives and tasks of the Inquisitor.
Of course. You are perhaps interested in the inquisitorial activities.
Ah, of course. You could certainly not have known. But for a long time I had a rather practical interest in such activities. In my capacity as Inquisitor General of the Kingdom of Aragon. But for the time being, I'm interested purely in the theory. Though we can never know what the Lord has in store for us.
I am sorry about the book you request. I do not think I can help you.
Librarian. Antiphonary. Copy. Bottle. Strongbox. Corridor. Librarian. Antiphonary.
It is an ordinary antiphonary.
Copy of the antiphonary.
It is a copy of the antiphony.
Bottle of ink. Examine. I examine. I take. Examine. I take. Bottle.
I don't know what I...
Bottle of ink. Strongbox. Corridor. Librarian.
The librarian. His eyes betray a certain fervor. Clearly he is hiding something from me.
Antiphonary. Copy. Strongbox. Corridor. Librarian.
The librarian.
Antiphonary. Copy of bottle of strongbox. Corridor. I am in the corridor. My cell. Library. Dark corridor. Balcony. I am in the stable. Corridor. Courtyard. Main corridor. Tapestry. Main corridor. I am in the bald Abbot Vinay guard. Balcony. East wing. Lion's head statue. Abbot Vinay Lion's head statue. It seems that something is missing. The statue has a number of slots as big as a stone. Red gem. Use. With. Orange gem. Use. With. Colored gem. Use. With. Blue gem. Use. With. Shaded gem. Use. With. Yellow gem. Use. With. I am in the main corridor.
Okay.
I must have the vision of Diana and see whether the servant was dreaming or not.
There you go. I got rid of a bunch of stuff that way.
Abbot Vinay's study. Examine. 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 Abbot Vinay's study.
Father Vinay's study.
Abbot Vinay Gar. Balcony. East Wing, Lion's Head, Abbot Vinay's guard. I talk to God.
I must speak with Father Prior.
Father Vinay must not be disturbed at present.
You don't understand. I urgently need to consult some books.
Have you looked in the library?
Of course.
But maybe not in the right one.
What do you mean? Tell me!
Talking is fatigue, and fatigue has a price.
You miserable dog!
Even dogs must eat, and above all, drink.
One such as you, protecting the pinnacle of the Inquisition? The Prior surprises me more and more.
Life is full of surprises. Don't you agree, Father?
Of course. Imagine the surprise of your father when he discovered he had impregnated the umpteenth serving wench and fathered the umpteenth bastard!
Watch out, brother. You're just an old man, and unarmed.
I carry the most powerful of arms. My faith and the will of God. And the cloth I wear.
Oh, yes. Right you are, Father. I certainly don't intend to put my own life on the line by slaying a Dominican right here. Maybe another time. Another place.
Your scars tell of your past battles. And considering your bastard lineage, you must surely be a mercenary.
Your wit is surprising, Father. Yes, I fought for our King Charles V in the ranks of General du Guesclin. You know him, brother?
I met du Guesclin in the past. Why are you no longer a soldier?
I was wounded in battle. Then my father pleaded for me. And now I am here. Easier than the battlefield, but not as much fun.
A warrior like you does not seem suited to playing the role of a mere guard.
Oh, yes! Ha! How right you are, old man! Sometimes you could die of boredom here. But you don't risk your neck. It is true that there are few wenches to take advantage of, but on the other hand, there are plenty of novices.
Abbot Vinay's guard. Examine. I have no reason to disturb him, and have to suffer his presence.
Okay, here you get to see the inventory in use and how this is a lot easier. So,
Abbot Vinay guard. Balcony. East Wing, Lion's Head. Abbot Vinay's study.
let me show you why I don't like it, and then I'm going to show you the 5-finger thing.
Inventory. Pocket knife. Wine. Use. Wine. Use. With. Page on Demeter. Use. With. Abbot Vinay's study. Use. With. Guard. Use. With.
It's pointless.
Lion's Head statue.
That's why. See? This is easy.
Book. I go towards book.
Oh.
I could consult my notes, in which I recorded all the satanic apparitions I have come across.
I missed something. Never mind, guys. One second.
Here it is. I remembered well. This will be far from easy. The talisman is composed of ordinary natural elements that have a particular shape. A mushroom, a flower, an acorn, lichen, the leaf of a poisonous herb. I must find them and put them together to compose the talisman. Only in this way can I must go back to Abbot Vinay, even though my notes will not constitute proof. But I want to find out what he really knows of the dark mystery I have been sent to solve.
But that's the only problem with the divine help, is that it takes you to stuff you didn't really know you missed. Anyway, here we go.
Window, book, bed, crucifix, corridor. I am in the my cell, library, dark corridor, balcony. I am in the balcony, stable, corridor, courtyard. I am in the courtyard, balcony, east wing, stable, towards Calcutta. Strange leaves. I take strange leaves. I pulled off a few leaves. Strange, heavy stone. Strange mushroom. Examine. I take strange mushroom. This strange mushroom will help to complete the catalyst I hope to use to replicate the vision of Diana. Heavy stone, long stick, heavy stone. I take heavy stone. This place is tormented enough. Heavy, long stick, short twig, stick, monk, stick. I take stick. A stick. Long stick. I take long stick. A stick. Heavy towards heavy. Long stick. Short stick. I take short stick. A stick. Short stick. Twig. Stick. Twig. I take twig. A stick. Short stick. Twig. Stick. Monk. Head of the statue. Vision in the sky. Rare lichen. The lichen may help me to complete the catalyst. I hope it will help me to see Diana. Wooden gate. A small wooden gate in a terrible state. Beam. Wooden gate. A small wooden beam. Examine. I push. Examine. Beam. I push. Beam. Beam. Squirrel. Beam. Wooden gate. Beam. Squirrel. Wooden beam. A protruding wooden beam slid under the roof of the hut. Wooden gate. A small wood passing wood beam. Squirrel. I can't get close enough to take the acorn. I must find another way. I am in balcony. Squirrel. Beam. Wooden gate. I break. Examine. I break. Wooden gate. Beam. Squirrel. Beam. Monstrous flower. Examine. I examine. Monstrous flower. A disgusting looking growth. It looks like an animal's miscarriage. Monstrous examine. I take. Monstrous flower. This flower. I think it could be useful for composing the catalyst. Will it?
I am so sorry, guys.
Passing muck. Small clearing. Beam. Small clearing. Examine. Examine. Small clearing. This point is perfect. Right in the middle of the trees frequented by the tree rat. I will place the trap here.
Okay, guys.
Small clear. Beam. Squirrel. Balcony. East wing stable. Towards Calca. Heavy stone. Examine. I take. Heavy stone. A flat stone. Perfect for building a trap. A heavy stone held up by a stick. And beneath it, some bait. Long stick. Examine. I take. Long stick. Long stick. Towards short stick. Examine. I take. Short stick. Short twig. Examine. I take. Twig. Twig. Stick. Examine. I take. Stick. A stick is useful for building a simple yet effective mousetrap. Monk. Head of the vision in the passing. Small beam. Squirrel. Balcony. East wing corridor. I go towards East wing corridor. I am in the engraved main corridor. Larder. I go towards larder. I am in the larder. Saucepan. Bottle. Cauldron. East wing drawer. Trapdoor. Sideboard. Scales. Bread. Walnut. Bread. Examine. I take. Bread.
Now I am not...
Bread. Walnut. Examine. Walnut. A walnut. An unrivaled delight for any rodent. Walnut. Examine. I take. Walnut. A walnut. An unrivaled delight for any rodent. Carafe. Saucepan. Bottle. Cauldron. East wing corridor. I go towards East wing. I am in the main corridor. Larder. Courtyard. I go towards courtyard. I am in the courtyard.
And then we just do this.
In strange leaves. Use with monstrous flower.
And then you just tap with 2 fingers and it speeds it up.
In rare lichen use with strange mushroom.
Instead of tapping around and all that crap.
In stick use with heavy stone. The squirrel trap clearly needs a suitable bait to attract the friendly rodent. In trap use with small clearing. In walnut use with small clearing. Squirrel. Balcony. East wing stable. Towards coat. Long stick. Short stick. Twig. Monk. Head of the stat. Vision in the passing monk. Beam. Small clearing. Examine. 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 Small clearing. The trap is ready, but it is pointless while I am still standing here. The rodent will never come with me nearby. Small clearing. Squirrel. Balcony. I go towards balcony. I am in the balcony. Courtyard. Main corridor. Courtyard. I go towards courtyard. I am in the courtyard. East wing stable. Towards Calcari. Long stick. Short twig. Monk. Head of the stat. Vision in the passing monk. Small clearing. I go towards small clearing. I am in the courtyard. I must have the vision of Diana and see whether the servant was dreaming or not. Small clearing. Beam. Small clearing. Balcony. East wing stable. Towards cut. Long stick. Short stick. Twig. Monk. Head of the passing monk. Small clearing. Map. Passing monk. Inventory. Strange piece of metal. Pocket knife. Wine. Cloth. Hexagonal piece of rope. Page on Demeter. Catalyst page. Catalyst. A double acorn. A freak of nature. Examine. A double acorn. A freak of nature. Page on Demeter. Rope. Page. Catalyst. Catalyst. A double acorn. Examine. A double acorn. A freak of nature.
See, guys, this is what I mean.
In a double acorn. Use. A freak of nature. Catalyst. Here is the catalyst. Completed. Just as it was described. Let's see if it works. It is time to watch the sky over Kakares. Long stick, short twig, monk, head of vision in the sky. Examine, Examine. Vision. The vision is not yet clear enough. I must concentrate and not think about the diabolical abomination I am addressing. I must use the catalyst I have assembled. Vision in the sky. In catalyst use with vision in the sky.
There we go.
Get back, Satan! The plague! The plague! You carry the plague! Be damned! Get away! Go away! I, Nicholas Emmerich, of the Order of Saint Dominic, I order you to disappear! Evil, the plague! Down in Calcaris, there is the plague. I can feel it inside me. The same horrid feelings as before, when I was young and contracted the plague and survived. The plague. It has remained wrapped around my spirit. Deep down, the vision has reawakened my memory, but not the disease. It is passing. Passing. Over. In Calcaris, there is the plague, and someone or something wanted to let me know. Beam. Small clearing. Balcony. East wing stable. Towards long stick. Short twig. Head of the small clearing. Beam. Small balcony. I go towards balcony. I am in the balcony. Corridor. Courtyard. Main corridor. Tapestry. Main corridor. I go towards main corridor. I am in the main corridor. East wing. Lion's head. Abbot Vinay. Guard. Examine. 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 Guard. Map. Inventory. Strange piece. Pocket knife. Wine. Use. Wine. Use. With. Catalyst. Use. With. Abbot Vinay's use. With. Guard.
It's pointless.
No, so not yet.
Balcony. I go towards balcony. I am in the stable. Corridor. Courtyard. Corridor. I go towards corridor. I am in the library. I go towards library. I am in the library. Librarian. Examine. I talk to. Examine. I talk to. Librarian.
I have thought about our first meeting, and I have come to apologize.
What do you mean?
It is rare to see such diligence in a brother. By the way, what is the sacred text that you are working on?
I am merely copying this antiphonary.
May I see the fruits of your skill?
You may see the original. The copy I am working on is still incomplete.
Some time ago, a merchant came here from Calcaris. Tell me what you know.
You really must excuse me, but I have to ask you to leave. I must get on with my work.
Librarian. Antiphonary. I go towards antiphonary.
The antiphonary the librarian is copying. And next to it on the table, a sheet full of notes. A note, written in Numen Inest, a quote from the pagan author Ovid. The librarian is hiding something from...
I am in the library. I must find the secret library of Carcassonne. Only there will I find Homer's forbidden book, containing the Eleusinian mysteries. Antiphonary. Copy of the antiphonary. Examine. Examine. Copy of the...
It is a copy of the antiphony.
Copy of the... Bottle of ink. Strongbox. Scrap. Examine. Scrap.
The rags the librarian uses to dry the ink in the book.
Scrap. Examine. 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 Scrap. Strongbox. Scrap. Scrap. 1. Examine. Scrap. 1.
The rags the librarian uses to dry the ink in the book.
Scrap. 1. Examine. 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 Scrap. 1. Scrap. 1. Scrap. 2. Examine. Scrap. 2.
The rags the librarian uses to dry the ink in the book.
Scrap. 2. Examine. Examine. Scrap. 2. Scrap. 2. Scrap. 3. Examine. Examine. Scrap. 3.
The rags the librarian uses to dry the ink in the book.
Scrap. 3. Scrap. 4. Examine. Examine. Scrap. 4.
The rags the librarian uses to dry the ink in the book.
Scrap. Scrap. 5. Examine. Examine. Scrap. 5.
The rags the librarian uses to dry the ink in the book.
Scrap. 5. Scrap. 6. Examine. Examine. Scrap.
The rags the librarian uses to dry the ink in the book.
Scrap. 6. Scrap. 7. Examine. Examine. Scrap. 7.
The rags the librarian uses to dry the ink in the book.
Scrap. 7. Corridor. Librarian. Examine. I talk to librarian.
It is certainly a long and tiring task. While you continue with your precious work, to apologize for the disturbance I have caused, allow me to tidy the room a little.
Librarian. Antiphonary. Copy. Bottle of ink. Strongbox. Scrap. I take. Scrap. A rag used by the librarian to blot the ink while copying. It has fragments of reversed words and letters, as if written in a mirror. Scrap 1. I take. Scrap. A rag used by the librarian to blot the ink while copying. It has fragments of reversed words and letters, as if written in a mirror. Scrap 2. I take. Scrap 2. A rag used by the librarian to blot the ink while copying. It has fragments. Scrap 3. I take. Scrap 3. A rag used. Scrap. Scrap 5. Scrap 4. I take. Scrap 4. A rag used by the. Scrap 5. I take. Scrap 5. A rag used by. Scrap 6. I take. Scrap. That's enough. I have collected all the scraps large enough to contain fragments of text. Strongbox. Bottle of. Corridor. Scrap 7. I take. Scrap 7. A rag used by the librarian to blot the ink while copying. It has fragments of reversed words and letters, as if written in a mirror. Corridor. Library. Copy of. Bottle of ink. Examine. I examine. I take. Bottle of ink.
I don't know what I could...
Bottle of. Strong. Corridor. Library. Antiphonary. Librarian. Examine. 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 Library. Bottle of. Copy of the librarian. Corridor. I go to. Corridor. Corridor. I am in balcony. My cell. I go towards my cell. Window. Examine. Examine. I go towards window.
The window pane is so polished, it is almost a mirror.
Inventory.
The letters impressed on the rags and reflected in the window become legible.
Pocket knife. Scrap 1. Inventory. Scrap 2. Inventory. Scrap 3. Inventory. Scrap 4. Inventory. Scrap 5. Inventory. Scrap 6. Inventory.
I have recomposed the writing. Consolamentum perfecti. The Cathar's rules. The librarian is a heretic.
Book. Bed. Crucifix. Corridor. Window. Corridor. I am in the my cell. Library. I go towards library. I am in the library. Antiphonary. Copy of the bottle of ink. Strongbox. Corridor. Librarian. Examine. Examine. I absolve. I talk. Examine. I talk to. Librarian.
I know what you are writing in the book you guard so jealously. Blasphemy!
But what are you saying?
The consolamentum is the formula used by the Cathari to confirm their heretic faith.
And your notes betray you as one of the so-called perfects, the blasphemous heart of your church! So, tell me, how long have you been part of the Catharian heresy?
How dare you? I don't know what you are talking about.
You know well! The Cathari identify Satan with the God of the Bible, creator of all matter. They harbor hatred for the true church, but above all for the body of man that holds hostage the animos, the wind, the spirit. This is the perverse meaning of your notes.
But
you perfects are absolutely bound to tell the truth always, which forces you into complicated word games when questioned. Firstly, you told me to look around and appreciate the rich collection of books. But what in fact you meant was that if I looked for and found the secret library, I would comprehend the true consistency of the library here in Carcassonne.
But
this is why you told me you could not help me when I asked for Bernard Guy's book. You in fact meant that you wouldn't be able to help me in my attempt to crush your false beliefs by way of that text. And now, when you said that you did not know what I meant about the Catharian heresy, you in fact meant that you did not consider yours to be a heresy. The prior was seeking out Cathari and Calcaris, and yet they are right here under his nose. I will report you, and the stake will free you of the body that you so detest.
no, please, I beg you.
Very well. So tell me where the secret library is. If you wonder how I know of the library, you should know that there are many things I know and that you do not. The Lord guides me and enlightens me.
But
Tell me.
the library is at the end of the central corridor, beyond the staircase, hidden behind an altar depicting St. John with an eagle at his feet. But knowing where it is will do you little good. Without the key to open the door, not even I have free access to the library, and only Father Vinet knows where the key is hidden.
You live in ignorance. As I said, there are many things that I know, and that you do not. Be warned! If you won't give me the key now, the practices of the secular arm will surely convince you.
I don't have it! I swear! It's the truth!
And after torture, the stake!
I don't have it! I don't have it! Please, you must believe me!
Yes, I believe you. Your fear of death is stronger than your faith. The librarian attacked me, but I managed to knock him out by hitting him with this heavy book.
Here.
Corridor. Librarian. Examine. I absolve. Examine. I absolve. Librarian. It is not absolution that will keep him good. Librarian. Antiphonary. Copy of bottle of ink. Examine. I take. Examine. I take. Bottle of ink. I don't know what I... Bottle of strongbox. Corridor. Librarian. Antiphonary. Map.
Inventory. Cloth. Hexagonal rope. Use. Rope. Use. With. Antiphonary. Use. With. Copy of the use. With. Bottle of ink. Use. With. Strongbow. Use. With. Strange. Use. With. Pocket knife. Use. With. Wine. Use. With. Cloth. Use. With. Hexagonal piece. Rope. Use. With. Page on Demeter. Use. With. Catalyst. Use. With. Catalyst. Use. With. Scrap. 7. Use. With. Corridor. Use. With. Librarian.
The rope alone is not enough. This worm could start to cry for help, complicating matters for me.
Inventory. Wine. Cloth. Use. Cloth. Use. With. Scrap. 7. Use. With. Corridor. Use. With. Librarian.
I don't need it.
Corridor. I am in the dark corridors. Library. My cell. Balcony. I am in the stable. Corridor. Courtyard. Main corridor. Tapestry. I take. Examine. I take. Examine. I take. Tapestry.
I will rip off a piece. It may come in handy. Oh, the tapestry is ruined. What a shame.
Tapestry. Stable. Corridor. I am in the dark corridors. Balcony. My cell. Library. I go towards library. I am in the library. Inventory. Wine. Cloth. Hexagonal rope. Page on Demeter. Catalyst. Catalyst. Scrap. 7. Rag. Examine. Use. Rag. Use. With. Pocket knife. Use. With. Strange. Use. With. Strongbow. Use. With. Bottle of. Use. With. Copy of the. Use. With. Antiphonary. Use. With. Librarian. I am tying up and gagging the unconscious librarian. Antiphonary. Copy of bottle of ink. Examine. Examine. I take.
I don't know what I could use them for.
Copy of bottle. Corridor. I am in the corridor. My cell. Library. Dark corridors and balcony. I am in the balcony. Stable. Corridor. Courtyard. Main corridor. I am in the main corridor. Inventory. Page on Demeter. Catalyst. Catalyst. Scrap. 7. Strange piece of pocket knife, wine. Use, wine. Use, with, scrap, use, with, Abbot Vinay's, use, with, guard.
It's pointless.
Balcony, east wing, lion's head, bald monk, Abbot Vinay, guard. This bastard's tongue is not long enough, but it is certainly forked, and dispenses lies. A jewel with an imaginative effigy of Baphomet, the idol revered by the Knights Templar. I am in the main corridor, balcony, east wing, lion's head, Abbot Vinay, guard. Examine, 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 guard. Inventory, pocket knife, wine. Use, wine. Use, with, scrap, 7. Use, with, Abbot Vinay, use, with, guard.
Here is your wine. Drown in it, you wretch.
Prosit! The Lord rewards you for your gift.
You vile blasphemer! Now tell me, what did you mean before? There is perhaps another library?
You are too curious. If you want me to talk, bring me more wine.
You blackguard! My wrath will annihilate you!
Oh, you scare me. But your anger will never quench my thirst, nor your curiosity. You are boring me.
Talk, you foul creature!
Talk. Talk is tiring. Better to sing.
You are playing with fire, I warn you!
Ibi nullus tim ex mortem, sed pro Bacco mittunt sortem. Primo pronumata vini ex hac bibunt libertini. Semelt bibunt pro captivis, pos hec bibunt ter pro vivis.
That's enough!
Non ies pro monachis dispersis, decies pro navigantibus, undecies pro discordantibus, duodecies pro penitentibus, tredicies pro iliter agentibus.
What a despicable beast! What a shame I cannot purify him at the stake.
Let me see what time it is, guys. Guys, it's been 2 hours. Oof. I'm gonna have to do a part 2 on this chapter because, oh my god, I didn't think it was gonna take us this long. But you can save the game, so it'll just take me back to where I was. Come on, Mason. Man, come on. That is one thing I do hate about voiceover.
Voiceover on. Mail. 22,970 unread emails. Double tap to open.
Alright,
Screen curtain on.
guys. I'd really appreciate it if you comment, like, share, and subscribe. This was a very long video. It'll probably take a while to upload on YouTube, so excuse the time. Other than that, I hope you guys have a great day, great week. I will see you guys next Sunday, and I will record part 2 of Chapter 1.
Mobile. Mobile. Status bar item. TFW. Status TFW. Stat control center. Error. Mobile data. Wi-Fi. Bluetooth. Media. Selected. Previous. Play. Next track. Lock rotation. Screen mirror brightness. Volume. Selected. Torch. Switch button. Off. Selected. Focus. Torch. Timer. Button. Calculator. Camera. Button. Alarm. Button. Accessibility. Short code scanner. Button. Selected. Screen recording. Button.